So what was the very first page we did? What was the one I wanted you to complete?
65, 66.
All right, so let's take a look at page 65, 66 right now, if you don't mind. Okay, and let me see if I can make that more clear. Either my glasses are bad or that's as clear as I can make it. So 65 and 66, and I asked you to do the odds, right?
No, for evens, and then this was odds. The evens was odds.
Odds were 67, 68.
Yeah.
Evens were 66, 65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we had done the odds originally, and now I asked you to do the evens on the page from 2 nights ago, right?
We did the evens first, and then we did the odds.
All right, so page 65, 66, that's where I'm at. Am I in the right location?
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Okay. So, and I asked you to do the evens on this page?
You said odds.
Odds. Okay. Ask me some questions about page 65, 66. Where do we go? What was that?
17.
17. We're there.
On the back.
Thank you. All right, so I got 2x squared minus 5x is equal to 12. Hey, cupcake. Okay, thanks. All right, we want to factor this, and we also want to solve it. Why do we want to solve it? What's up there that makes us want to solve it? What's the one sign that makes everything say we need to solve it now?
Equal.
The equal sign. No, 12 is not a sign. It's a number. But good try. All right, before I start factoring this, what do we need to make sure it takes place? Yeah.
The equal is well, not the equal, but the number next to the 12 should be a 0.
Yeah, you want that to be a 0. So how do I move this back over that way? Subtract it. It's a positive 12, so I'm going to do the opposite. So then I'm going to get 2x squared minus 5x minus 12,
That's how you do that.
and this is equal to 0. So that's the first move right there. If you don't make that move, the whole rest of your problem you're going to get incorrect, which stinks because you make the error in the beginning and all you're like, what are you crazy? All right. Is there a greatest common factor? Is there a letter on all three of these numbers? No. Does 2, 5, and 12 have a number in common other than 1? No.
So if you look for the GCF after you
Yeah.
subtract it.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like we have a GCF at all. Everyone feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Our magical number is going to be negative 24. Why is it negative 24, not positive 24? Because the 12 is a negative. Everyone still with me?
Yeah.
All right, so in order to get that, I had to multiply a positive number and a negative number. Does everyone feel good with that?
Yeah.
I had a positive and a negative number. And so then I want to list the factors of 24 that add up to negative 5. So one has to be positive, one has to be negative. So 1 and 24, that's not going to help, right? 2 and 12, oh, no. The closest I can get to negative 5 would be 10 or negative 10, right? 3 and 8?
Yeah.
3 and 8 would work. Everyone agree here? So I have 3 and 8. Which one has to be negative so when I add them it gives me negative 5? 8, okay. Everyone feel good so far about what we're doing?
Yeah.
So this is like our little toolbox area, right? This has not really nothing to do with the problem. We're just, utilizing a little space to figure out what to do. So then we're going to put this, so I get 2x squared. Can I go plus 3x or I have to go minus 8x first? Or does it matter? Does not matter. So however which way you do it, plus 3x minus 8x minus 12. And it's still equal to 0, so we got to do that because we're solving it, right? We're trying to figure out what makes this whole thing 0. All right, what do I have in common here? X. And I get 2x plus 3. This sign always comes down. What do I have in common between those? 4. And I'm factoring a negative 4 out, so that's going to change signs. That becomes a positive 2x, because negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And then plus 3. There. Oh, I'm sorry, B. You good. Everyone agree with so far what we've done?
Yeah.
Okay. So then my factored version of this is 2x plus 3 and x minus 4. Now, if you stop there, you're going to miss 2 points. Why did I say that? You want to solve it, so you're going to set each one of those binomials equal to 0. So you get 2x plus 3 equals 0. And you also have x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so I subtract 3 here. And then divide by 2. Now, if you leave your answer like that, you're totally fine on this test. If you take it down to this part like this, you're like a varsity math student. Yeah.
Okay, so I got
Sweet.
6 because
Because you did it wrong. Because you chose 6 and 4?
no, because I did 2x plus 3, but I thought since there's 2 x's, there should be 2 amounts of the y-intercept, so I got 6 because 2 times 3 is 6.
Oops. Someone has a video playing. I won't say who.
What?
Or music playing. I won't say who, though.
Okay, Brandon.
I won't say who. I still won't say who.
Oh, you can hear my music.
No.
Well, I can hear from here.
There's kids in the East building going, dude, I know that song. All right. Hey, is this problem done? We're totally done. So if you leave your answer like this and like this, you nailed it. If you take it down one step further, you're more than nailed it. You did really well. No extra credit though. Yeah.
I'm saying you can't see the yellow from back here.
Squint.
Barely see it.
All right. How about I do it in dotted pink?
That's
That's so
Mission, that's what
loud.
happened in my last class, because we was like, it was just like, we was doing it by ourselves. I mean, we could do it in a group and everybody was talking, so it don't even sound that loud. And he was like, I can hear it. I was like, what?
All right. Hey, do we feel comfortable with this problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Could I move to another problem? Is there another question? B, you got a question on one of these?
Let's see. 15.
15? The one that says 2x, or wait.
2x squared minus 4
Oh!
equals 2x.
Hey, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. And this is why it's a good one. You will see this type, one of these tomorrow on the test. Or, excuse me, Thursday on the test.
I thought it was prime.
No,
That's not prime.
it's not prime. Okay, so, item 1, we're solving it. What sticks out to say we're solving it? Equal sign. Okay? I want one side equal to 0. Agree? So I have to do this. I have to subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. Is that okay? I have to add x squared. Add x squared. So these all cancel, right? That gives me 0 over there. That gives me 3x squared minus 6x. We don't have just a constant number up there, do we? So we don't really have the magic number to do on this one, do we? We don't have a magic number to go with, do we? I don't have my last term times the first term. So how should we approach this problem? Yeah,
How many
The
numbers?
difference of 2 squares.
well, that's a good thought, saying, okay, I do have subtraction sign, I have 2 items, but 3x squared, 3 is not a perfect square. X squared is, and then 6x is not a perfect square either. But I like your thought.
Could it be that thing where you like put the 0 in between?
I could, well, the 0 in between would be this number, which, because I don't have a constant. What do we got? Where should we go?
I just said it was prime.
It is not prime. Doesn't matter how many times you want to say it, it's not prime. There will be 2 answers to this problem. 2.
Is it negative 1, 0?
No. Yeah.
Could you possibly divide?
Suck at math.
Shouldn't you divide? See how many factors, like the factors of
Yeah.
6?
Yeah, you guys are the right terminology. Yeah. So I could factor out of each of these. I could factor a 3 and an x out of both. So that gives me an x minus 2. Because if I want 3 times x, or 3x times x, that's 3x squared, and 3x times negative 2 is negative 6, right? Okay? So then each part of this is going to be equal to 0. So that'll be equal to 0, and that equals 0. So I get 3x equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. divide each side by 3, so I get x equals 0. So that answer is totally fine right there. Or if you take it down to 0, 0, your varsity letter math. Add 2 to both sides on this one, so I get x equals 2. So there's my other answer. Or you could write it as 2, 0. That's the problem. So is it prime?
No.
No, sir.
No
I
what?
got -4. I was pretty close.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, 268,355. That's pretty close being infinite with numbers.
Okay, well I got prime because I couldn't figure it out and I just
So it
was
must be.
like, I give up.
Must be
It's
prime.
too
A hint for you all. A hint for you all. I'm taking a look at the take-home test key. Bless you. Bless you again. On the take-home test, ladies and gentlemen, none of them are prime.
Ah!
None.
Prime. I just put prime because I don't want to.
No, well, it won't be a right answer. On the Thursday, it's just a front and a back for Thursday's test. Guess what? Nothing prime on the test. So you will not have one answer on the entire test that's prime.
That's
Will there
sad.
be a question
Even
like
on the
this?
bulletin part, what's the
Yep, you could see one question like this. How do we feel? Be happy?
Confused.
I'm happy too.
Why you have prime on the test?
No prime. Because I'm sick of having a prime answer and you have the one kid who puts prime all the way down. Dude, I got one right! And
See,
you,
that's not me though. Like, if
you
I get
giggle at it,
stuck-
but you'd be amazed. Of my 3 classes, I have at least 2 kids that will do that.
Really?
Yeah. Can't get names? No, I will tell you that his grade he's skyrocketing. That dude is like, I could say, all right, teach how to do this, and he would like be on fire.
Like, he puts
Aiden
prime
Gallagher.
everywhere?
He's like, boom, 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 boom. You can have him 5th period. I am amazed how well that dude's doing this. Yeah,
He's
like,
in my freshman
I swear, he could come in right now cold, and I could put any problem up on the board, and he could work it out and talk you through it. Just a kid I have in my 5th period class.
Oh my gosh, you know,
Love that kid.
You know, I bet who probably does prime for every single one is either Jacob Mastis in your 2nd period.
Oh, no.
I bet he
This
probably-
is 2nd period, but good try.
I mean 3rd period.
All right.
3rd period.
It's
I don't
not
count
turd
Spanish,
period, it's
Spanish.
3rd period.
It's 3rd period.
It's not turd.
I didn't say that.
All right.
I'm so jaded that I don't know
Any
why.
other questions on page 65 and 66 you would like to take a look at?
13.
Yeah, me too.
13?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back one board. So take a look at this one. Oh wait, no, never mind.
What page?
Take a look at this one right here. Okay, you see that?
Yeah.
And then let's look at 13. I'm on page 66. Are we solving this? Yeah,
Well, we
Yeah.
are, but like,
because it's equal sign, right? So this, take a look at this, and then let's go back aboard. Does that kind of look like this? We have an x squared and an x term. We don't have the constant.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
We have an x squared and an x term. We don't have the constant. So we don't have our traditional way of factoring it. So where should we walk on this problem?
The x and the
GCF.
5.
Yeah, take that greatest common factor out. Okay? So they both have an x in common. If I factor an x out, I'm left with x minus 5. Okay? I couldn't take a number out because we didn't have a greatest common factor. All right, so then this has to equal 0. And this has to equal 0. And so this answer is totally fine. You could list it like this as well if you're the varsity. Or this one is going to be x equals 5. And again, you could list it like this as well. Either answer, totally acceptable. So those 2 that we just didn't have our traditional factor. We had to go to the greatest common factor to start working it out because it didn't have the constant term. The constant term is the term that doesn't have the, that thing.
Can you do 11 too? I'm just really confused on like the 2. Like,
Hold on,
the
mister.
Oh,
Sorry, you got double screen.
Oh my god.
11.
It's 11.
Oh!
I'm confused.
All right, you
I am 2.
It's a prime?
No!
It's not a Is it no real solutions?
B, you good?
What did you do? X minus 9, X plus 9.
Number 11.
Could you do 81 divided by 3 and then factor it by that?
No.
Alright, so
Oh, no.
let's look. There are a lot of suggestions. Okay, now, quick question. You all asked a perfect order with this stuff. Alright, so I have x squared minus 81. Now be very careful. Take a good look at x squared minus 81. If I go back a board, I have x squared minus 5x. If I go back a board, I have 3x squared minus 6x.
Yeah, but the 81 doesn't have X.
Oh yeah, I like it. Thank you for seeing that. So we don't have it. So this is one of those ones that if I wanted to, I could plug the 0x in.
Oh.
I could do that. Or you could recognize that this is the difference of 2 squares. So you take the square root of x squared, which is x, the square root of 81, which is 9, and you list it twice. What's the very last thing we have to do? What do we do? Yeah, negative and positive. You have alternating signs. Okay? Difference. Now, guys and girls, you will indeed see the difference of 2 squares on this test.
No.
Okay? So, if you did it our fancy way, it would still work out the same. So, my answers are x equals 9 and x equals negative 9. I could list it like this as well. It's your choice. Okay? If you needed to do it the other way, you'd say, okay, my factors are negative 81. I know I have to have positive and negative. Factors of 81 are 1 and 81, 3 and 27, and 9 and 9. And then the 9 and 9, one being positive, one being negative would work, so you get x squared minus 9x plus 9x minus 81. Oops, there's an x there. So you get x minus 9 plus 9, x minus 9. So then you get x plus 9, x minus 9. Is that the same thing? Is this the same thing as this?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's flip-flopped as far as the signs go, but it still works.
So it doesn't matter.
Nope, your choice. Good job seeing that. No x on the 81. Yo.
So without doing with the plus 0x, you would look at the factors that would go to the number.
You're looking for the perfect squares. So x squared is the same thing as x times x. And then 81 is the same thing as 9 times 9. So difference of 2 squares works this way. If you don't see the difference of 2 squares, realize you can plug a 0x in. If you're missing the x term is actually called the linear term. Okay? What do you think? Are we ready to go to the every other odd on that next page?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at that next page.
I accidentally did 2.
Okay, so that was, what page was it?
67, 68.
Okay, and that was every other odd? All right, so let's take a look at page 67, 68. Let's take a look at page 67, 68. What do we want to take a look at? It was every other odd, right? So you
9,
did.
please.
So skip 1, do 3,
No, don't.
or skip, or do 1, skip 3,
Do 5.
skip 7, 9.
So you want us to do
So number 9.
on this, and this is on 67, 68. I mean 68, 69.
Yeah, 67, 68.
Yo, yeah. Mitchell, because I did something with that last night, because I was thinking when you said, because I didn't know we were staying on the same page, so I did the odd numbers on 67.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You know what I'm doing? Because I want this all to stay in your hand. Being that you're all here, I'm pretty sure you all did both of the assignments. So it's going in the grade book being you're here. If you're not here, so hopefully they're watching the video, they need to make sure they turn it in.
Do you like edit out these parts?
I don't edit it out.
You don't edit anything out? So,
Like when I tore into the kid with the cell phone the other day,
you
I
don't
had a
edit
parent who
that out?
called, said, hey, you tore into some kid with a cell phone in there. I was like, yeah, baby.
Oh my
I'm not gonna edit stuff out. There's entertainment value in there.
That's so funny. We should go in like on the funny.
Heck, I get a kid start crying in class. We're putting you on camera. I mean, that's just funny.
You don't get YouTube comments though. I was
I
like,
think
I'd probably
I
crack
wanna
it
go
with that if I was
subscribe.
an
I'm
actor
gonna
instead
go
of watching
subscribe.
you chew some shit out.
One of my videos, because I get an email every week from YouTube saying, hey, just want to let you know how your page is doing. One of my videos was watched like 864 times. So I went back and I watched it going, dude, what did I say in this video that like is amazing? It was like just like boring, like, you know, I mean, I would have rather, you know, filed my nails all the way down to, you know, the cuticles than
Do
watch
you
that
have
video again. It was,
56 subscribers?
do you get paid from YouTube that you?
I get a major money.
Oh my gosh, he has 56 subscribers.
Me. I'm a part of
I've
it.
subscribed, and now you have 57.
Oh, and you have your cell phone now, so I'll need your ID and your phone.
No, I just subscribed.
All right.
Hey, Brandon has his phone out too.
He does not. I can't see that far.
Oh my gosh, that is so.
All right. Hey, let's look at this problem. Let's look at this problem.
Okay.
What are we missing?
Middle.
I'm missing the 0x, right? So I could do it like this, where I do the m squared plus 0x minus 64. Or I could recognize that this is the difference of two squares. So I have m and 8 and m and 8. Because 8 times 8 is 64, and m times m is m squared. What am I going to do here?
Negative sign for like the last one because it's plus a negative.
Negative.
That's it. So then we said both those equal 0. So what's my answer going to give me here?
8 comes in negative 8.
Yeah, so I get negative 8 here. So x equals negative 8 here. So negative 8 comma 0. And then I get here, that gives me, oh, I'm changing letters. That's
Do you
M.
have to do all of that? How you put the m equals 8, negative 8, and m equals 8? Do you have to do all that?
Heck, you know, I get right down here.
I don't even do the m equals 8.
I know, it's really easy to grade this because throw this wrong.
What? Go.
All right,
Do you film in every class? Or
just yours. You guys are the special.
Oh my gosh. So like, if your third period is watching this, they know that me and Presley are in your class.
Someone should like throw fifth videos.
Oh my god,
We
we should.
should.
We
I
should
should have
literally
like a
make
mental
like a.
break.
No.
Oh my god, we should like scene like robbery. Oh my gosh, we should.
Oh my gosh. What if the day that we had the threat to the school shooting, what if that happened, but you got it on video and then we turned it into the police?
That's enough.
I hope I never get that kind of stuff on video because I hope it never happens.
That'd be
That
so
got
scary.
I tell you what, that happens, I'm using you. I'm throwing you through that window so we can escape.
Wow, that killed me instantly.
But look, wait a second. I wouldn't. I throw cars. I'm kidding. All right. Hey, we're good. Any other questions you want to take a look at on page 67, 68?
21, I bet it's prime. Is it prime?
21. 21. Read me what number 21 says.
X squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 50.
Like that?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely prime.
Confusing.
No.
It's not prime?
Heck no.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh my gosh.
All right, ready?
Fucking
We are solving it, yes?
Yes.
Because there's an equal sign.
Not prime.
It's not equal to 0, so what should we do?
Subtract 50.
Subtract 50. All right.
So if there's not a 0 after the 50, you will subtract that.
We should move it over.
Yeah.
So what does this become if I subtract 50 from it?
48.
45.
Careful.
40, negative 46.
46.
No, I'm subtracting 50 from
Oh,
it.
negative 54.
Negative 54.
I put minus 4 minus 50.
Right? You thinking that's okay? All right. What's my magic number?
I know why I keep saying that they're prime.
Negative 54.
Because you want so badly for something to be prime, so you.
No, that's not it. Because I never add the 50 and the negative 4. I never do that. I always, so on this one I did x squared
What
plus
are you
3x
talking about?
minus 4. Can I show you?
No, stay
Please,
there.
I wanna show
Stay out of
you.
the spit zone.
No, I want to
All right.
show you.
before I wanted to show.
7.
Please, I actually.
What, do I?
No, is that right? That's not right.
9 and 6.
Okay, that's my head.
You were close, B. Now, what if this is a negative here? What do we know the sign's got to be?
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative, right? Which one's positive to add to negative or add to positive 3?
The 9.
The 9. Is that all right? I get x squared plus 9x minus 6x minus 54. It's still equal to 0 because we're solving it. What do I have in common here?
An x.
An x plus 9. Bring that down, so it's negative. What do I factor out of these? 6. And that, because I factored out a negative, both those signs change. Agree?
Wait.
You waiting?
No, you're good, mister.
All right. All right, so my answer is x plus 9, x minus 6, right? Extend the page because I wrote too big. So this gives me x equals negative 9, which is negative 9, 0. And this is x equals 6, which is 6, 0. Done. It's not prime.
Oh, stop it. I know what I did now.
There we go.
Can I please show you what I'm doing now?
Oh, no.
Please?
Can we do it when there's, like, not in the middle of trying to review for a test?
But we're done answering. We're done with the page.
Oh, I'm glad that you qualified that for the rest of the class.
Okay, can I do it after?
Sure. What? Any other questions, or we feel comfortable? Yes.
Number 19.
19. Can you read me what number 19?
Can you split screen by
Yes,
we
I
didn't do
can.
that one.
Split.
That wasn't a part of the.
I just want to see it.
He just wanted to see it.
It's x squared
Yes.
equals 30
Equals 30.
plus
Plus what?
plus x.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good problem. It's a good problem. Even though you didn't have to do it, it's a good problem. We are solving it because there's a equal sign. Is it equal to 0 yet?
No.
No. So let's move everything on the right side over. Okay, now some of you will be like, hey, can I just move the x squared over? Yeah, but then you're dealing with negative x squared.
That's annoying.
So
Move everything.
I'm going to move this over. I'm going to move this over. So that all cancels, right? So that gives me a 0 over here. I get x squared minus x minus 30. What do you think? Can anyone factor that? Think about it. What's my magic number?
Negative 30.
Negative 30. What factors of negative 30? One being positive, one being negative, one add to negative 1.
6 and
6 and 5. And it'd be a negative 6 and a positive 5. Agree?
Yeah.
So, x squared minus 6x plus 5x minus 30. X minus 6 plus, comes down, 5, x minus 6. So I get x minus 6 and x plus 5. We're solving it though, right? So I get x equals 6 here, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, 6, 0. And x equals negative 5 here. That gives me negative 5, 0. Woo! We didn't have to, but it was a good one. It's a quality one to ask about. So, being you're here, on each of those 2 pages, put a 4 at the top. I'll put it in the grade book for you. Got it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, do me a favor. Will you, please? Will you?
Wait, can I show you what I'm doing?
Oh, it scares me.
Why?
It frightens other kids in the class.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, mister.
Brandon, stop. That's disrespectful.
All right.
And we don't need that
So-
kind of negative
So
attitude.
on one of these sheets, if you have a little bit of room, let's just write down a few things to do. So let's say I have the number 4, and let's say I have a 4x. Let's say I have a 4x to the third, let's say I have a 4x to the 4th. You still with me on this? Okay. Are all 4 of these monomials?
No.
Yes, they are.
Yes, it is, because it's 1.
Yeah. So these are all ideas of a monomial. Still with me? Okay. This one, because you don't have an x, is a constant monomial. You with me? This one, because it's raised to the first power, is linear monomial. Oh, I meant to have a 4x squared right here. I'm sorry. Being that one's squared, that's a quadratic monomial. Being this is the third power, this is a cubic monomial. And this one is actually called a quartic.
Why would it quad be 4?
Quartic, because it was probably part in Greek, part in Latin, part in some other language that we don't speak anymore that we're trying to derive from. Okay, does everyone feel good that these are all monomials?
Yeah.
Does everyone feel good how you label it? Constant monomial, linear monomial, quadratic monomial, cubic monomial, quartic. Okay, does everyone feel you have your information written there? All right. So let's build this a smidge. Okay, ready? We good? Are these all binomials? There's 2 terms, right? You have one term added or subtracted with another term, right? So these are all binomials. So this one is a linear binomial
Because it's 2, right?
because it's raised to the first power, right? Because it would make a straight line if you graphed it. It's just linear. This would be quadratic binomial. Got it? Because there's 2 terms. This is a cubic binomial because you look at the highest exponent. And this one is the quartic binomial. Okay? So we covered monomials, we covered binomials. Monomial means you have one term, you're not adding and subtracting multiple terms together.
Oh my gosh, I
A
don't
binomial means you have 2 terms that you're either adding or subtracting with each other. The linear, quadratic, or cubic in quartic is based on what is our highest exponent in the problem. Can I move one forward screen?
I know what the next one is. Is it trinomial?
It is trinomial.
Oh my gosh.
So, making fun of me just wear glasses.
The way your glasses are looking.
Making fun of my glasses. All right, trinomials. Trinomials, because we have 3 trinomials, because we have 3 terms. 3 terms that are either being added or subtracted. Notice we no longer have linear because you can't have 3 terms with x. Okay? So this is a quadratic
Because it's 3, right?
because it's raised to the second power.
I
Quadratic.
keep saying that.
But it's trinomial because there's 3 terms. This is a cubic trinomial. This is a quartic. Okay? If we had more than 3 terms, what does it then default to be called?
Polynomial.
Defaults to become a polynomial. So if you have 4 or more terms, it becomes a polynomial.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So if I had something like this, if I had like 5x to the 7th plus 3x to the 6th plus 2x to the 4th plus 3x plus 6. There's a whole bunch of terms. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that's just a polynomial. And it's a seventh degree. So, and I don't really have a Latin root for 7 that I'm going to use. So I would just say it's a 7th root polynomial. Okay? So, guys and girls, here is my plan. Okay? So, take-home test. I'm giving you here in a few moments. You can work on the take-home test. I mean, I only got a couple minutes here. But we'll work on it tomorrow during class. You get to work with each other. You got to use your phones and watch my videos. Shoot, you could Google answers. Heck, I know some of you might have that one cool app where you take a picture and go, yeah, I got the answer. Good. Good. But you won't be able to do that on the test. Now, so on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, we're going to do the Schoology portion of the test. This should take 10 minutes, in which I will give you 30 to do. Okay? So you'll do it on Schoology. The Schoology portion, listen, the Schoology portion only deals with, is it a linear, is it a binomial, is it a linear monomial, is it a quadratic binomial, is it a quartic trinomial? It's that, you're just matching. That's going to be on Schoology. Yeah, and then the other part on Schoology has the last page of the take-home test. It looks like that. And what that does is does this. So the fundamental theorem of algebra says, hey, it crosses the x-axis 3 times. So this must be raised to what power? Yeah, this is an x to the 3rd power type of thing. If it crosses like this twice, it's raised to what power? 2nd. If it's just a line and does that and it crosses once, it's raised to the 1st. So x or x to the 1st. Got it?
Yeah.
That's what the Schoology part's going to be. But you see it on the take-home test regardless. Okay? Yeah.
So for each, it would be 3 solutions and 2 solutions and 1 solution.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We good?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, you know what's frustrating? Sometimes when I look back at some people's grades, some people don't think take-home tests are that cool, so you don't turn them in. And it counts for a test grade. It counts as part of your test grade. Okay? So, whoa, dude.
Oh, wow.
Why'd you do that? I thought we blew another projector. I'm saying this isn't going to be good. Please bring this take-home test back with you tomorrow.
There's a walkout tomorrow.
Yeah, me and Presley are doing a walkout. But it's at 10.
If you're choosing to do that, I'm just going to say those are the things I planned. And on Thursday we have the test. So you actually have everything. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's at 10 o'clock.
Oh, did I give you 2?
Oh,
Yeah, it's at 10, so we're
Is the workout kind of skipping class?
They told us that we take roll after. I mean it is what it is. I'm not saying to do it or not to do it. You make a choice. You make a choice.
How about this? Do this. You should lock the door and say, now.
that's
All right, guys and girls. I hope you have a great day.